Good morning, everyone. Lee Henson here, President and Founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. Without any further ado, let's get started. Today I thought we'd do something a little fun. We've had a pretty heavy week with it being election week and with all the things going on in the pandemic and you name it. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun. I ran into an article from Mike Cohn at Mountain Goat Software, and he did this in conjunction with Clinton Keith, and they discussed how to fail with Agile. Now, at first, I got a kick out of this, but he literally says these 20 tips to help you avoid having success with Agile. And he kicks it off by saying the Agile process is now accepted as a valid alternative to traditional software development processes. Most people who adopt Agile do so realize the benefits of faster delivery, higher quality, and products that more closely match user needs and so on. Not everyone is so enamored with Agile. Some teams and individuals balk when to mandate a become Agile is passed down from some higher up in the organization, or when some young go-getter decides to start an idealistic grassroots movement to effect change. A switch to Agile often conflicts with personal goals such as maintaining status quo, avoiding career risk, working no harder than necessary, or last but not least, maintaining a large fiefdom of direct reports. Because we all know that's important. Kingdom building is so important. It is to these individuals, those who have to become Agile but don't want to, that we would like to direct this advice. Don't worry, we're not going to try to seduce you into trying that silly Agile thing or convince you of its merits or tell you how you succeed. We're going to help you ensure project failure with Agile. And then you'll be done. And you can go back to doing what you were doing before in your comfort zone. So although there are many ways to sabotage an Agile project, for convenience, we've grouped them into 4 categories. One is management issues, next one's team issues, the next one's product owner issues, and then finally process issues. In each instance, they cite an example of someone who successfully caused Agile failure, a list of general guidelines for that failure, and they make it simple and meant to demonstrate, and then list alternative techniques you can try to help replicate this process. We hope this approach will allow you to to fail quickly and avoid potential success with anything Agile. So I think this is absolutely just genius. It's an incredible approach, and it's a great way to do this. And he kicks it off with don't trust the team or Agile. You need to micromanage both your team members and the process. Absolutely. Micromanagement is so important. And I think that it's something that if you're trying to fail, you need to make sure that you are on top of what's going on. It's no one's surprise the team never produces impressive results. So it never meets all of their iteration goals, and they're no more productive than they've been before. So you need to conduct a retrospective that we don't talk about any of the problems that we could fix. We just talk about the things that we championed, and as a result, you throw away all the books you read and direct the team to return to the old way of developing the project immediately, right? I think that's just absolutely hysterical, because you'd be surprised how many times you walk into an organization and it certainly feels that way. Even if they're not even trying, it feels like that's what they're doing, which leads to number 2. Guideline number 2 talks about, this particular gentleman went to extreme by micromanaging his team. It's equally effective to go to the opposite extreme and not provide any guidance or advice at all. While self-organizing teams are also self-managing, they're not self-leading. An Agile team needs a type of leadership that provides a vision to work toward and motivation for achieving that vision. A strong Agile leader, often in the form of a product owner, knows how to motivate a team with a description of an extremely desirable product that is just beyond what the team may think it can do. Free to pursue that goal and provided with ongoing guidance from the product owner, an Agile team can become truly high-performing. Don't give your team that opportunity. If micromanagement is your style, you need to jump in right away and nip this in the bud and solve it. You need to equate self-managing with self-leading and provide no direction to the team whatsoever. While support for using Agile may come from the highest levels of your company, often the adoption of Agile is driven by the Agile team itself. But don't worry, you'll have plenty of opportunities to create failure within those cases. If you are the manager, you may start by undermining the evangelist on the team, the one who's read all the Agile books and has taken a chance to promote Agile. Brush off the rules he's asking you to follow, interrupt the daily stand-up with different directions, change the priority of any of the sprinkles that you have the power over, and encapsulate it all in a bucket of misery, right? Just if you can encapsulate it all into just make sure you understand this. So here's the fourth guideline. It says, ignore all Agile practices. These things don't apply to management. If you want to be sure that Agile doesn't take root in the organization, just go straight to the team members themselves and let them know what you think that Agile is a fad. Some of them will be skeptical to begin with, so it won't take much to convince them that they need to ignore these practices. Remember, just like Barney Fife, you have the power to nip this thing in the bud if you follow these basic guidelines. I love these. Number 5 is undermine the team's belief in Agile. Create team issues, Not all of us are managers, but don't worry. Managers can wreak havoc at the team level as well. Just take the case of the not quite Agile team, tasked with delivering and developing inventory management software. The team shows the power of consistency in bringing down an Agile project. For its first iteration, they committed to completing 6 items from the product backlog and finished 4. Because it was the first iteration and most teams overcommit for their first iteration, the product owner cut the team a little slack. This didn't faze them in the least. So for a second, the iteration team again planned to finish 6 items, and it finished 5. The slight improvement was only lulled by the product owner into a false sense of security. The not quite team continued to chronically overcommit, falling short on the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, etc. So soon, the product owner learned not to trust the team, and this undermined any success it may have with Agile, with a fantastic implementation of guidelines for Agile. This is just hysterical. I applaud once again. This is just way out of bounds for normally what we cover, but I love it. Number 6 says continually fail to deliver what you committed to deliver during your iteration planning. When falling short, don't make the mistake of going all out every iteration and reaching the last day panting with exhaustion time after time. A team like that could almost be forgiven for never quite delivering what they planned, right? So a key to the future of this team is failure, the cavalier attitude towards missed commitments. The team made it clear it didn't really matter if something was finished on the last day or on iterations as had been previously committed. Over the next few days into the iteration, what's a few days between friends? Remember, a few days here and there can add up to be quite a lot. If an Agile team continually misses its commitments, it makes it impossible for the product owner to make plans and external commitments. Wow. This is getting better and better by the minute. 7 is cavalierly, I didn't know that was a word, move work forward from one iteration to the next. It's good to keep the product owner guessing about what will be delivered and keep people on their toes. I think that one's self-explanatory. 8 is do not create cross-functional teams at any cost. Put all your testers on one team, all the programmers on another, and so on. If you do that, it guarantees that they'll never have the opportunity to work together and do pairing or peer reviews and things that will help them be successful. You need to make sure you keep them just far enough apart that they have very difficult times coordinating or communicating with one another, and that over time you're going to find the complaints add up, that people are going to start justifying things, and you're just going to have teams that are in chaos because they're always dependent on each other. I mean, what a nightmare. Guideline 9 says large projects need large teams. Ignore the studies that show productivity decreases with large teams due to increased communication overhead. Since everyone needs to know everything, invite all 50 people at daily stand-up and make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. These are hysterical. And those are all the ones that fell underneath the team issues. And I can tell you, those are fantastic. So we covered the management issues. We covered the team issues. Those are all just so well done. I love this kind of humor. So I may go ahead and finish this one up tomorrow and continue. But until next time, do tune in. You can visit AgileDad.com where you can learn more about this topic and many others. We've got lots of good goodies coming to you from the Daily Stand-Up. Until next time, stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Do take care, and we'll see you next time.